Hi everyone, I hope you guys are fine and enjoying. So in this video I'm gonna show you how to stream a file from a REST client API and then forward it to our own REST server, which we will be implementing from our side. So we're gonna take the file from a REST client and then forward it as a response of our REST server to our client. Okay guys, so I have completed with the implementations of the API, and actually I have implemented the REST client API as well as the REST server, because I thought let's just finish it all at once. Okay, so let's kind of walk through the implementations here. So for the REST client API we have two classes. Actually not two classes, we just have this one, and we have an interface here. We're gonna call it a service interface. The other one is the main API class. You see, this one is kind of a boilerplate for the API. It will provide us with a kind of a hook to execute our methods from our interface, which this one. So I hope you guys already know how Retrofit works. If not, you can just drop me a comment, so I'll create a separate video on that, a bit of a tutorial on how to implement the REST client API with Retrofit. Now if we go into the service interface, I have declared only one method in our service interface, which is get file here. As you can see, I have declared the file URL link here. The URL here is let me show you. I really had a hard time finding a direct link of some file, and upon that I wanted the file size to be like 1 gigs or more, so that we can cover the edge cases also. Okay, so this is a website which provided me with the sample files with different kind of file size. We have the files in megabytes as well as in the gigabytes. So these are all like direct links, so you can just use this in any of your API. I picked this one. Here it says 1 gigs of the size, and that's a link here. Let me show you the link. So I used this link here. I put this one in the base URL and used this one in the service interface for our method, for our get file method. Let's get back to the API. So we have annotated get file method as like streaming, so that to make sure that Retrofit won't convert the response body and will serve as it is to us. Okay, now coming to the main class, which is the boilerplate REST client API class. We only have declared our Retrofit builder here, and then we have a method here which will hook the Retrofit to our service interface. So that's all the implementations for our client API. We are going to test it by just printing the headers of the response, just to check if everything is good and working till here or not. Okay, so let's execute it. Okay, so we are receiving the headers here. We have the content length here, which is like around 1.1 gigs approximately. We have the content type and all of that. So I think it's working. The client API is working and we are good with that. So coming to the REST server implementation, we have two classes here. We have a controller class and then we have a utils class. So let's first see the controller here. So the controller is like it controls the actions, or which methods are going to execute on like what URL. So we have declared the test URL on our class level, and then we have get file URL on which we are executing a get file method, which will get executed when a client will invoke a URL. So the whole URL will be like something like this. It's gonna be like test slash get file. Oh, sorry, it's file. Okay. So it will execute the get file method we have here whenever client will invoke the test slash get file. Now in this method we have invoked REST client API from which we have like executed the get file method, which like we have declared in the service interface here. And in return for this execution, we will receive a response object which will contain the response body, the headers, and all of the response properties in it. Okay, so let's just leave this code right here and get into the utils class. Let's see what we have in the utils class. So in the utils class, I have implemented a method pipe to OutputStream, which is gonna like pipe the response body to the output stream. We are going to pass the response body in this, and then an output stream, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna pull out the byte stream from the response body, and it will read the bytes from that, and it will push the these bytes into the output stream we have here. Okay, so that's all it's gonna do. Okay, let's get back to the controller. So we have implemented the piping method. We have the response from the client API, from which we can just pull out the body of that response. Now the next step is we're gonna call an interface, which is streaming output interface. So we're gonna just call it out here. Streaming, okay. Streaming output. We're gonna just name it stream equals new streaming output. And it has a method, write method, which we need to override. So I'm gonna override the method here. Okay, just remove this one, just put a semicolon here, and the write method gets us the output stream object. Now we just need to call in the piping method, which we have implemented in the utils class in the write method. So I'm just gonna call new utils dot pipe to output stream. Now we have to pass two objects, which is number one is the response body and the other is the output stream. So we're gonna pass this output stream in the second one. So I'm gonna just put output, and we have the response body from here. We can just pull out the response body, response dot body. Okay. Now we just need to return the response with this stream in it to our client. So I'm just gonna return response dot okay, and then I'm gonna just put stream in it, and then let's build it. But before that, we have to like append headers. We're gonna append the content disposition, and then we're gonna name the file like something myfile.mkv or something like that. So I'm gonna append header. The name of the header will be content disposition. The value will be attachment semicolon. Let's give a file name. File name equals double quotes my file.mkv. Okay, we need to escape the double quotes here. I'm gonna put backward slash and one here. Okay, so I think it's all good. We can just execute it on our Tomcat server. Let's just execute and let's see what happens. I'm just gonna go click on my project, right click, run on server, Tomcat server. Let's finish it. It's gonna execute. Okay, now we have the base URL of our project. We need to append the class level URL and the method level URL to get it working. I'm gonna just copy it and open it in a browser. I'm just gonna open it in Chrome. I'm just gonna paste it right here. The class level URL was test slash the method was get file, and then just press enter. So you can also say that why do all this implementation when you can just directly pass the stream into the response here. Like we can just pass response dot body dot byte stream, and that will also do the same thing, but I'm really not gonna recommend it because it will make your thread really heavy. Streaming output is really a lightweight component. It is asynchronous, and it has all of that advantages, so why not use that? I mean, so I'm gonna recommend the streaming output for this kind of situations here. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. If you have any problem, if you want a separate tutorial like how to implement the REST client API or how to implement the REST server, just drop me a comment in the comment section.